It's December 31st, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today and the Treasury Titans. Happy New Year's Eve to everybody who celebrates that. Hope you're going out and having a good time tonight, or just staying in and watching the ball drop, or maybe going to bed at 9 p.m. It's totally your call. I go to bed at 9 p.m. at least 350 days per year, so I have no judgments there. But listen, nothing in this video is financial advice. Michael Saylor, although he's having fun here, he is definitely looking forward to putting 2025's price action behind us, especially with the behemoth of an absolute financial engineering powerhouse of a company that he's built going forward into 2026 with the 5 prefs and probably more to come. I mean, the iPhone moment happened, the USD fiat reserve, everything is lined up for a great 2026. Now, all we need is Bitcoin to comply, because Michael Saylor wants us to tame your bear. Tame that little bear. Tame that cute little guy there, because 2026 has all the makings of a great year. So many tailwinds that we'll be talking about in just a couple seconds here. But again, for MSTR to perform, we need Bitcoin to perform. So let's go. Chris says, people panic selling MSTR at $150 will be panic buying at $350 in 2026. And guess what? That will definitely be true. And I'll probably bring this post back up again just to remind people that's just the way the world works. The Bitcoin therapist says, whales are done selling. Tax harvesting is nearly over. Crypto has likely bottomed. Gold and silver have already rallied. We're still negative 30 from the all-time high. We never had a blow off top. Bitcoin is about to melt faces. I'm ready for it. BitPain says, in the next 5 years, Bitcoin will 5x and MSTR will 15 to 20x. Thank you for your attention to this matter. You are welcome, BitPain, and I'm on board with that. Mark Harvey says, tomorrow is Warren Buffett's last day as CEO of Berkshire, so that's actually today. He leaves the company with $382 billion in cash, a giant melting ice cube. I remain hopeful that the new management understands Bitcoin, because just think about how much this chart would even look more egregious if Michael Saylor had been able to convince Warren Buffett about Bitcoin 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 8 years ago. I mean, it would have been a different game. Although, let's be honest, Michael Saylor just became Bitcoin aware 5 years ago. So maybe more realistically, if he'd been able to convince Warren Buffett around that same time, this chart would look crazy different. All right, let's move on over to Zinx, who says Bitcoin equities are not in favor right now. That means opportunity. Metaplanet continues to impress me, and the announcements today reaffirm that. Strategy is replicating the Bank of England playbook, but with Bitcoin instead of gold. There is incredible value in building a balance sheet containing the most pristine collateral. For investors who can envision a multipolar world in which Bitcoin functions as a neutral global reserve asset, these equities remain materially undervalued. I remain irresponsibly long. This is my bet. Mine too, Zinx. Let's go have a great 2025. Adam says it's going to be awesome being a shareholder in Strategy and Metaplanet when Strategy has 1.5 million Bitcoin and Metaplanet has 210,000, and Saylor's relentless bid on Bitcoin just continues to pump Metaplanet's bags as well as his. Eventually, you stop debating the Saylor thesis and start measuring how exposed you are to it, unless you want to have fun staying poor, of course. And no, none of us want to have fun staying poor. We want to have fun being on the Saylor train, being on the Strategy train. It's an absolute bullet train. Choo choo, let's go. Peter Dwan says the Metaplanet 6x their Bitcoin income generation program in 1 year to a $100 million plus annual run rate. In the same time, they also 6x their Bitcoin yield. By the way, the Bitcoin income generation program can already support $2 billion of preferred interest obligations using a 5% interest assumption. Do you see where this is going yet? And this is in response to Dylan's post about how with 21 billion JPY, that's 136 million USD, in proceeds received, Metaplanet is now officially an issuer of Bitcoin-backed perpetual preferred stock. Love it. We are just moving in the right direction. And I really did love this post by Anthony Pompliano. I think it's a great one to end the year on, because this is obviously my last recording for 2025. 2025 was quite a year. I mean, we've already talked a little bit about it. You know, was not great price action for Bitcoin or for MSTR, obviously, but the foundations were laid for both. You know, the Genius Act was passed. The Clarity Act should be passed in Q1 of 2026. So many banks are starting to adopt sovereigns. I mean, it's just absolutely a tailwind mania. 2025 paid the price. 2025 was the pioneers, and the pioneers get shot with arrows in the back. I mean, that's just a reality. But 2026, we're going to be able to shuffle off those arrows and really hope to see new all-time highs in Bitcoin, and of course MSTR would be great as well. So time will tell, but I'm very bullish. But again, wanting to end this 2025 MSTR Today campaign with number one, a heartfelt thank you. So thank you for all of those that listened throughout the year, because again, it hasn't always been easy. I mean, just a couple months ago, it seems like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, we were at $450 per share. It seemed like we were about to burst through 500 to 600. And then, of course, we had the absolute painful drawdown that we've all experienced. But most of you have stuck with this show. I see you in the comments every single day. Thank you for those comments. As you know, I respond to basically every single comment. There's very few that I miss. I even like to address the bears in the comments, just because to me it's enjoyable. It's fun. I just like sparring with the bears and poking the bears and taking screenshots. I have a whole folder of screenshots for a future episode, which is going to be a lot of fun. It's probably going to have to be episodes, to be honest. But let's end with a bang. Number one, with me saying thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking these videos. Thank you for your comments. I see them all. It means a lot. That's why I keep doing this show. And this is written from an 85-year-old woman who knew she was close to death. If I had my life to live over, I'd like to make more mistakes next time. I'd relax. I would limber up. I would be sillier than I've been on this trip. I would take fewer things seriously. I would take more chances. I would climb more mountains and swim more rivers. I would eat more ice cream and less beans. I would perhaps have more actual troubles, but I'd have fewer imaginary ones. You see, I'm one of those people who lived sensibly and sanely hour after hour, day after day. Oh, I've had my moments, and if I had to do it over again, I'd have more of them. In fact, I try to have nothing else, just moments, one after another, instead of living so many years ahead of each day. I've been one of those persons who never goes anywhere without a thermometer, a hot water bottle, a raincoat, and a parachute. If I had to do it again, I would travel lighter than I have. If I had my life to live over, I would start barefoot earlier in the spring and stay that way later in the fall. I would go to more dances. I would ride more merry-go-rounds. I would pick more daisies. Nadine Stair. This is powerful. I think this is going to hit a lot of people in the right way, because, again, we have so many imaginary problems that never come to fruition. We, just are always looking for like that day in the future that we'll start living, that we'll start laughing, that we'll start enjoying life more. No, today's that day. Today is that day. Michael Saylor, Fong Lee, Strategy, they're taking care of our financial future. If you believe that, you're happy in your investment with MSTR. So just sit back and let them cook. Let them do the work, okay? Maybe you just stack every now and then when you can, but just let them do the hard work, the heavy lifting, because they are. And enjoy life, laugh, be silly, go barefoot. I actually love my OOFOS sandals. If anybody doesn't like going barefoot because it kind of hurts their feet a little bit, well, guess what? OOFOS, OOFOS, the most comfortable sandals in the world. I interviewed the founder on my other show, Entrepreneurs on Fire. Love the guy. He's so cool. He sent me a pair. I'm like, oh, these are going to suck. And they were so awesome. I've since bought like 10 pairs. No joke. They're all around they're basically at every exit of my house to go outside. They're there. So I can just put them on. And then, of course, I have my indoor ones, which I only wear indoors. So I don't, upset the wifey. So I thought this was really great. If I had to live my life, if I had my life to live over, a lot of us right now a lot of you that are listening, because I see the analytics, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, you're in your 60s. You have a lot of life to live. I mean, I have people in the 70s and 80s that are listening to this, and in the 20s and 30s. But I mean, the majority is in that 40, 50, 60 range. You have a lot of life to live. So let's not have these same regrets. And now let's sit back, relax, and let Michael Saylor take us into the new year. Enjoy. Michael Saylor just made an $835 million bet buying the Bitcoin dip. Right now, Bitcoin's fallen almost 40% off its October high, and the big money is buying the dip. What's your strategy? Now might be a great time to convert your IRA or 401k to Bitcoin with the help of Bit IRA. Plus, you can fund it with pre-tax funds, then continue to invest in it over time as you do any other retirement account. Bit IRA protects your assets with end-to-end insurance, highly secure storage, multi-encryption, and registered with the US government. Your IRA is fully IRS compliant. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without incurring taxes on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Bitcoin has proven time and time again to rebound, every cycle going from a higher low to a higher high. With Strategy's latest purchase, Michael Saylor clearly believes Bitcoin is at a discount. Time for you to get into. Go to bitira.com/JLD to open a tax-sheltered IRA in Bitcoin. When you want more for your business, start with Northwest Registered Agent and get access to thousands of free guides, tools, and legal forms to help you launch and protect your business all in one place. Build your complete business identity with Northwest today. Your business identity is more than your logo or website. It's everything that defines who you are and how you operate, from what your customers see to what they don't, like operating agreements, meeting minutes, and compliance paperwork. With Northwest, you'll get more for your business, more privacy, more guidance, and more free resources than you'll find anywhere else. For nearly 30 years, Northwest Registered Agent has helped entrepreneurs form, grow, and protect their businesses. They're the largest registered agent and LLC service in America, powered by over 1,500 corporate guides, real people who know the local laws and can help you every step of the way. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free.
There isn't so much religion and politics in rocket science. Right? The way that the Russians, the Chinese, and the Americans build rocket, they don't vary dramatically. There's no one saying, I think balsa wood should be used to build the rocket, because you build the rocket, you do it wrong, it burns up on reentry. There's really, maybe on blast off, there's not really a debate, but there's massive debates in economics. And so I think it's pretty profound. I feel very grateful to have the opportunity, and I find it very motivational to have the mission. And so I do think it's energizing, and there's probably no better feeling than going anywhere in the world, walking down a beach in South America, or walking through a parking lot or on a runway in Europe or Asia, and the guy that's taxing the aircraft or refueling the aircraft, or the guy that's parking the cars. I go to Mar-a-Lago, the guys that valet park the car, they're like, okay, thank you, like we're with you. Or the guy that's the bar back right at the bar, or there's a lot of people from all walks of life who have derived inspiration, and they feel like there's hope. And fundamentally, you have days where, the market's crashing and all the short sellers are gloating and they're like gleefully celebrating, can they liquidate you? And that's the negative part of the business, all of the toxicity and the hate and the controversy and the ignorance. But the part that motivates you, that you always got to stay grounded on, is the traditional finance world's not offering hope to 8 billion people, right? The conventional banking offer is, we'll take you money and give you nothing, and we'll actually keep 5% of it a year and hope you don't notice, right? And the credit market is, we're gonna take everything you invest, and we're gonna just keep 300 basis points of it and hope you don't notice. Right. And your vision or your hope, if you're a taxi cab driver in Africa, well, it's like you have like zero hope whatsoever until the digital assets world came along. Right. And so we're actually giving people a path forward. a hopeful future, right? A future you can get excited about for yourself, for your family, for your corporation. Create a business and put it on the global grid and do it with 20th century finance rails in any nation in Africa or South America or Asia. I challenge you. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You can't, it's literally hopeless. And so what motivates me is, now we've got hope. We've got economic empowerment and we've got hope. And there's a million people debating, what's the right way to do it. But the point really is there is zero debate. Your economic life expectancy is short and it's going to be brutal and ugly and it's going to be a painful end if you don't have this technology. And it couldn't be clearer right now, right? That we've got modern economics that we're preaching. And there's no reason why you shouldn't actually be conveying that message to every politician, every academic, every entrepreneur, every investor, every individual, everywhere on earth, because regardless of our political and religious differences, there's no doubt that humanity will be elevated by digital assets, digital capital, digital technology. And it's a struggle worth taking on in the modern world.
There you have it. Owner, not unsurprisingly, Michael Saylor, owner of hope.com. And that was a very inspirational way to end. And Michael, chairman and founder of Strategy, as just, I forget what you said, maybe the 100th idea you guys tried, but this one has hit its stride, not to use a joke there. Michael, thank you so much for coming back on Galaxy Brains.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Focus your energy. Guard your time. Train your mind. Train your body. Think for yourself. Curate your friends. Curate your environment. Keep your promises. Stay cheerful and constructive. And upgrade the world.